right, you guys, we're going to get started. I'm just going to kind of give a little introduction. It's pretty much Randy's show today, which is great. He's got some cool stuff to show you. So what we're really going to see today is one of your peers kind of using video as a way to deliver instruction and change the way he's kind of running his class on a day-to-day basis. This isn't going to be so much the how-to, how to sit down and actually make this happen. I covered that in a previous electric lunch, and that's available on our Title III website. If you're interested in that, just drop me a note if you don't know where the site is, and I can get you a link to that. And that's kind of the whole nuts and bolts of how to do recordings like what Randy's going to demonstrate. So, like Caitlin said, we're just super happy to have Randy here sharing this with you guys. And what we'll do is Randy will kind of explain his whole deal, and then we'll just open it up for questions in the end and see what you guys have to ask and go from there. So thank you, Randy, and
thank you.
And the floor is yours.
Everybody doing all right? Hoping. All right, so I guess anybody not have any clue exactly what's going on? Are you totally out? Okay, so you have no idea what this is about. Okay. Well, it started a while back. Probably a couple of ideas actually got me to this stage. One was about 4 years ago when I started teaching online classes. I wanted to put more videos online, or just put videos online instead of just having to read the text. And due to the limitations of WebCT and other things at that time, it just didn't happen. And so then the other issue, or the other idea, is something that math instructors in particular have worried about forever, and that's how can we have more class time where our students are actually doing work, right? Working on the problems as opposed to just listening or whatever, because math's not a spectator sport. And so those were the two main ideas that that was always percolating in the background. But then a series of events last year actually got me to this stage. The first one being we hired Tom Kim, and he introduced the math department to web work, and I think he gave a presentation on that last time at the electric lunch. And web work, it's a homework generating thing, right? I'll come back to play in a minute here when I get to that. So that was a very cool thing I started using in winter quarter of 2009 in my Math 142 class. And at that same time, for some strange reason, I got a day ahead. And I don't know how that happened. It very rarely happens, as I'm sure you know. And I remember about 10 minutes before class, I was sitting in my office trying, what am I going to talk about? I mean, really, I didn't want to jump to the next stuff for whatever reason. I don't remember what the reason was now. And so I walked out into the hallway, and Larry and Andrea had their doors open. I'm like, okay, guys, I have nothing to plan for today. Any suggestions what to do? And we talked for a few minutes, and then Andrew just kind of came out of Andrew's mouth of, well, you could always do a work day. Nothing wrong with a work day. I'm like, and Larry's going, yeah, there's nothing wrong at all with a work day. And I'm like, I never ever had the opportunity to have a work day. So I'm like, okay, well let's see what happens. So I go to class and I say, all right, I've got nothing to say to you today, so it's just a work day. And they all looked at me like what? All right, and so they had lots to do, so they started working on the problems. Well, that was a fantastic hour. And I just floated around and answered questions, and they were working on all kinds of things. It reminded me of my days when I used to work in the math lab, before I ever got my degrees. I was a tutor in the math lab. And it was awesome. And they liked it so much that even several times throughout the quarter, they were asked, can we have a work day? Because they just wanted some time to get caught up. That's what it boiled down to. And I was able to work in a couple more work days into the quarter, which was really, really nice. And then spring 2009, I taught my calculus class, and this is where the next step came in. We were coming up on a concept early on, and it was just, they needed to see a lot of properties. You don't have to worry about what those properties are, but okay, so you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, right? That's all great. They need to see that so they know that it's there. But then you just need to go do a bunch of problems. Well, I didn't want to waste time. I didn't want to spend time, if that's a better way to put it. I didn't want to spend time in the class doing those things again, just saying, here, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. So I found a video on YouTube that already had essentially that with some examples tagged on at the end. And so, actually I found like 3 videos. And so I had them watch the videos. I said, okay, you guys have to watch these videos before you come to class tomorrow. And then tomorrow, I'm going to give you, just going to give you some problems to work out that's going to use those concepts. Follow me? Okay. So we came to class the next day, and all but 3 of them had actually watched the videos, which I thought was cool. And so I handed out the sheets, 10 problems or whatever it was, I don't even remember. And the people that didn't watch the videos, they really didn't have a clue what to do, right? So they're opening their book, trying to figure out, because I didn't give a lecture on that. I didn't do my normal lecture. And so instead I walked around and I was a one-on-one or one-on-two type of situation, answering questions, helping the, and they were asking pretty good questions, helping them out with the algebra because they knew what to do, they weren't quite sure how to get there, type of a thing. So I thought that was really cool. Worked out quite nice, and I liked it so much I wanted to do it all the time, but I couldn't do that yet. I was able to do it, I think, maybe 3 more times that quarter. I was able to say, okay, we're going to watch these videos and then come to class the next day. So that was all through spring of 2009. Also, in that spring of 2009, I decided to start embedding into my online classes in Math 72 and Math 99 some videos. Right? The reason I didn't do it in the past was because I couldn't find videos for every single topic, and so I didn't want to go, oh, you got some videos for chapter 2 you can watch, but when you get chapter 3, well, you're out of luck, you can't do anything but read it. Right? So that's why I always stopped and I didn't really put anything up. Well, I went ahead and just made the jump and said, let's just put some up and we'll see where it goes. So that was all spring of 2009. So summer came along. I lost track of where it's at. So summer came along, and I started wanting to put more videos up. Again, I'm just taking videos off of YouTube. I'm just going to YouTube, doing searches on topics, and seeing what I can find. And what I found, though, was that some of the videos that I had posted prior, like in Math 72, the prior quarter or whatever, sometimes they were no longer there, right? Or the embedding had been taken out. So I like to embed them. I don't like to just put the link. When the student goes to the page, I want the video to be there, they just click play and go and see it. I don't know why, that's just me. Well, some of the videos, they couldn't do that because the owner of the video said, let's disable the embedding feature. Right, so now I'm starting to get a little worried that it won't always be there. Right? The videos won't always be there. So the other issue was that sometimes I couldn't even find exactly what I wanted, right? So there's a lot of junk on YouTube. I'm sure you're all aware of, right?
Yes.
And so, but even if you filter out through the junk and get to the stuff you're looking for, and I've watched a lot of YouTube videos over the last year. A lot of them are really, really bad. Even the ones that, the math ones, the educational ones that are out there. And so sometimes I couldn't even find a video that would work for the topic I wanted to give, or everything would be going along fine, and then they would say something that I knew was coming. I would sit there and go, don't say that, don't say that, and they would say it, and I'd be like, nah, because I'd said that 20 years ago when I started teaching and knew that was going to lead to confusion. And sometimes I would use the videos and sometimes I wouldn't, but I couldn't find exactly the way I wanted it. And so those two situations, set me up to say, all right, I didn't want to do it, but I need to make my own, because I knew it was going to take a lot of work. And so that's when I made the jump, was in summer. And so I did a little research to figure out, watched a lot of YouTube videos, research at this stage, to figure out how I wanted to do those videos, because there's all kinds of things. They've got people being at the whiteboard, right, and just being recorded, and that's their video. Or they have the screencasting where you just see them writing, or the camera looking down on a piece of paper with a hand, with a pen writing on it. I mean, all those are out there. And so I tried to figure out among a gazillion other types of things they could do. And so I figured out what I did like and what I didn't like, whatever, and then did some research to figure out what tools I needed. And so once I had an idea of what I thought I needed, I went and talked to Eric. And we talked about we need some screen capture software, and I didn't even think about the headphone thing. He came up with that on his own, which was a brilliant move, by the way. And in the tablet situation, and I have to admit, when I emailed him the original tablet, it was the top of the line, 8.5 by 11. I had all this real estate I could write on. It was awesome. It was expensive. He emails me back and goes, I think that's a little more than you need. How about we just try this nice little thing over here? And I admit, I said to Larry, I go, can you believe he wants me to write on this thing? What's he talking about? All right, so anyway, worked out, you were right. All right, you were right. As usual, you were right. And so he